pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity for us to gather here this evening. Guide and direct this council over the next several weeks as we consider the budgetary issues that lie before us and help us to make sound decisions for the city of Boonville. Amen.
Thank you very much. Roll call.
Ehlers.
Here.
Dorman.
Here.
Stock. Venable.
Here.
Meadows. Beach.
Here.
Hurt.
Here.
Hearing of citizens' comments. If you are in the audience and would like to make a public comment, we ask that you come to the microphone and sign in and limit your comments to 5 minutes, please. Seeing none, we will move along to approval of the minutes. You've had those over the weekend to look at. Are there any additions or corrections or questions regarding that? Yes, Ned.
Mayor, under the, I think this is page 5, under the discussion of the animal pound, are we looking for a pound or a shelter, or have we identified what it is?
We have
we're
not
talking
identified. Our ordinances call for us to have a shelter.
Shelter.
So
Okay.
that's what it's called in the ordinances. Is that correct, Carissa? That's
Yes,
what-
but under state statute, it qualifies as a pound.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? They'll stand approved. Consent items, we have none this evening. Presentation of accounts and claims. Teresa, when you're ready.
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the council of the city of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the city of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof on February 16th, 2016, the sum of $667,070.59. General fund, $261,679.86. Sanitation, $17,641.87. CIP tax, $28,689.54. Waterworks, $37,568.14. Capital projects, $159,932.51. Wastewater, $45,249.29. Tourism, $9,309.06. Gaming, $107,000.32. Parks and Water, $0.00. Section 2. The accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $667,070.59, being the total amount of money above appropriated. Section 3. This ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. First reading on February 16th, 2016, read for the second time this 16th day of February 2016, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, I move that we accept.
Thank you, Becky. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vanessa. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Ehlers.
Yes.
Dorman.
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Beach.
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Unfinished business, item A, second reading of bill number 2016-001, amending the solid waste collection fees.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, amending certain parts of Chapter 21, Article 5, Section 21-181, relating to solid waste collection fees, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Do I hear a motion? Ned,
I move we approve this.
do I hear a second?
Second.
Thanks, Whitney. Discussion. I will say Susan Meadows had to leave for another commitment, But she did say that she received a phone call from a constituent, one constituent, who was asking us to table the discussion because he felt like it was an undue expense. So Susan did want to bring that forward. So after saying that, I will remind you it's 25-cent increase per month. Okay. So I'll let you make the decision. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Ayers,
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
New business, item A, first reading of bill number 2016-002, approving the final site plan for expansion of Hartman Village.
an ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, approving the final site plans for the expansion of the development known as the cottages at Hartman Village.
Okay. Of course, all we do really is just read the first reading, but I did want to introduce Mr. Bob, who is here this evening, if you want to wave to the council. Some of you may have met him at Planning and Zoning. This is a very nice development, and I'm very pleased that this is happening, so thank you for coming this evening. Item B, first reading of bill number 2016-003, approving the final site plan of minor subdivision of Tract 9 of Boone Village Estates.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, approving the final plat of the minor subdivision of property in the City of Boonville currently known and numbered as Tract 9, Boone Village Estates.
Reports of standing committees. Cemetery Board, Vanessa?
Didn't go. So I don't know.
Okay.
Anything important happened?
Gary,
Gary
any
wants to-
highlights or lowlights? Ned's got a question.
We're on cemetery board.
Yes,
Right? Okay. And you're just the man to answer the question?
I hope.
Yeah. The bid from Santa Fe Lawns was X, and Custom Creation was X.
Yes,
And then there's this kind of a sentence about whether or not additional charges can be made. I didn't get the sense, Gary, that that additional charge thing came from both of the bidders?
no, Custom Creations,
That was only, okay, that's the way it read, so,
yes,
yeah.
yeah. And the bid from Santa Fe Lawns was an all-inclusive bid.
Yeah.
Actually lower than it was for 2015. And
Is he going to be able to bring up his performance?
he promised the board that he would. He also promised the board on-site inspections when his crew arrived at the cemetery and after his crew departed the cemeteries.
Good.
And I'm going to bird dog him as well.
Good.
So he, after his conversation or the conversation with the board, they felt comfortable giving him another year, see how it goes.
Good.
I sent 5 bid packets out and only received 2, which really kind of surprised me.
They're really busy. More and more lawns every year.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Police Board, Henry?
Yes, Mayor, we sent out bids for 2 new vehicles. We also are acquiring a new K-9, so that's about the highlight of it.
Okay. Questions for Henry or Randy?
On the K-9, is that in addition to the one, or is that a replacement of the current K-9?
I think it's a replacement.
So what happens with the existing
Normally, they retire to the handler.
handler? Good.
Okay.
I had a quick
Ned?
question, Randy. Nixle alert system. There was a comment under miscellaneous that Tom Helford stated he was happy to see the police department implement the Nixle alert system. The first time I'd heard about that, so I thought I'd ask what it is.
It's like the public, it's information. We have anywhere from an emergency to just of the street closing, accident. Time in the county have that implemented. They had problems with it. We did have accounts, so we started using our account. Now everything is going back through 911 as it should. But if something happens with 911, they cannot do that.
Okay, so it alerts our officers, is what you're saying.
About the community, you can sign up and get a text message on your phone. You might be out and get a text message. I'll stay away from Locust Street, Spring Street.
Right. Oh.
I would
Okay.
really
It's
urge
wonderful.
people to sign up for it.
Yeah.
And you should sign up for
It's
it because
wonderful.
it gives you some valuable information.
love it.
Wrecks on the interstate or boil water orders. It's been a really, I know ML uses it a lot for boil water
Go to
orders.
nixle.com and then select your locality, and then in your locality, there'll be a number of agencies that you identify. In our case, it'd be Custer County EMA and Boonville Police Department. You can also get nixle alerts from other agencies in the nearby Boone County, and then you put your cell phone number in there and you'll receive a text message.
Huh. That's really
You'll
kinda
also
cool.
get Amber Alerts. I
Yeah,
got an
Amber
Amber Alert in a crowded restaurant one time. It's really loud.
Hello.
Yeah. So it's a nice service, so I would, really urge people who are listening to check it out, because I think it's a good service. Okay, Tourism Commission, Vanessa.
Did go to that meeting. We had a few discussions about some unencumbered funds that were available for grants for the rest of 2016, and there was a quorum, so they all were able to make decisions about which things to fund. We didn't give anybody exactly what they asked for, but we got that done. And we had a tour of the new warehouse, kind of the layout, which is a big job that tourism has been taking care of this year. So,
Sure looks nice from the outside. So,
yeah. Any questions? Open.
Ned?
I guess it's my night. The guidebook. Having seen a lot of these guidebooks in other communities, one of the things that I think is really impressive about some of them, not all of them do this, but the communities list the special places to go, and that's talked about here. In addition to that, when they list the places to go, are they going to be listing the schedules for people to go there? Because not all of these, most of these are individually owned, and they're not there all the time. So what they do is they set aside special times for people to visit and do tours.
Are you talking about C? the
See,
walking?
proposal for guide.
Okay, so that is more of just a self-guided walking tour that you walk by. places.
Outside.
Right, outside.
Okay,
You don't get to actually go in and have a tour.
okay. Will they list those where you can go in? Or do you even know, are we too early to even know that kind of thing?
Yeah, so if you've seen the current self-guided walking tour that we have, it's our most popular brochure. It's one we give out the most. There are lots of places like Paula Shannon's home is on there on High Street. Kemper Military School is on there, the Katy Bridge. There's lots of places that you just see. But there are also some places like the Katy Depot, which people can get in. Similarly, we're going to add the Mitchell Motor Car Museum. Thespian Hall is on there, so those are available for tour. And the current one is just like a trifold, so it just says like built in 1886, owned by the Friends of Historic Boonville. And that's about all it says. This one, I have a picture page and then an information page, so we'll be able to incorporate any of those things if in fact they're open for tours.
That'll help make a big
And
difference.
I think, like Edward's home and Walter Williams' home is on, so we can make a note that he opens his home up during the Christmas, or tours that during
Right.
Christmas time. So we'll be able to add that stuff because we'll have more words.
Okay, thanks, Kate.
Any further questions? Thank you, Vanessa. Parks Board, Becky?
Minutes are there in the packet. The primary discussion was over Project Pele overview, and that's starting to progress and see some signs. I do want to add, it's not in the minutes, but this past weekend, they did have the indoor soccer tournament. There were 60 teams. I believe there's 5 on a team. Most all the teams were beyond a 100-mile radius of Boonville. I think it sold out all of our hotels, was wonderful for our restaurants. If you drove by any of the schools, it looked like there was a major event happening at all of our gymnasiums, including the YMCA. So I think it is showing that soccer does have a future for this community. So,
And that's called futsal, and that's a
Futsal.
smaller version of
yeah, it's an
soccer.
indoor soccer. It's a little heavier ball.
Played on a basketball court, and,
Yeah.
there's 4 players and a goalie.
Okay,
That went really well.
very good.
Excellent.
Board of Public Works, Becky?
Once again, the minutes are there in the packet. Emil just kind of clued us in on some of the budgetary. We had a presentation from Alliance. It was a rather short meeting.
Okay, questions? Okay, we'll move on to reports of city officials. City Administrator Earl, do you want to bring us up to date on code enforcement?
Kate's going to take care of that.
So I guess you can probably couple 37 and then 38, which is Steve's report, into one. If you look at page 37, we looked at everything we did in 2015. We just gave you a broad numbers outlook so you know what we're doing. So like I said, on weeds and debris, which is 90% of that is lawn mowing, frankly. We did 427 cases. That pretty much runs from April through October. So we had 344 people voluntarily comply, and we abated 62 of them, which, as Earl already alluded to, this wet spring did not help us in abating those, so lawn sat a little bit longer than we wanted to. We did send one of those cases to the prosecutor. We also had 4 cases, which I want to note was when we changed that ordinance over to where we had a persistent offender that we could start only noticing them once. We have an administrative hearing, and Earl serves as that officer. And then at which point in time, we're allowed to just mow it all season long and then send them a bill. So we have 4 of those, and that saves us a lot of time, and we pretty much mowed the lawns all year, so that was good.
Kate,
Under-
do most of, excuse me, but do most of the people
Do they
pay that, or does that go in their tax bill?
It's a mix. We have 2 people that pay and 2 people that don't, so it's a mix. And the same with those 62 that the city abated. It's kind of, you never know when
Okay.
people will pay or not.
Okay.
So derelict cars, we did 149 of those. You can kind of see where we are. We have 12 that were sent to the prosecutor. Brad did meet with me today, so I have information on any of the cases at the prosecutor level if you're interested. General public nuisance, that's if people have dead trees, they have sewers that are leaking, they have people living in travel trailers, it's a vacant building and the doors are open. It's sort of this really big laundry list of items. There's about 16 of those. Tim did all of the fats, oils, and grease inspections, and kudos to him because he got to every restaurant, and we ended up only having to send 2 formal violations. So I think that's pretty impressive considering we had never done anything under fats, oils, and grease. So we sent 2. We have 1 that's done already. And then, so we just have 1 outstanding. It's probably going to go to the prosecutor. It's going to be due next week. So unless you hear from them, they'll. Yeah. So I think likely that will go on to the prosecutor. And we're still having a little bit of work at Hannah Cole where the lift station seems to fill up. And we think it's inadequate maintenance, probably.
Or adequate maintenance. What was happening is the Hannah Cole maintenance staff were cleaning their grease trap their chemical salesman sold them a product that dissolved the grease. They put it in the grease trap and were kind of proud of themselves because the grease trap didn't require being cleaned as often, but it was recoagulating in the lift station. Once it recoagulated in the lift station and we got back into the odor problem, they called, reported the odor. We went out there, opened the lift station, and it was a blanket of grease. And as a coincidence, I had two chemical salesmen come into my office this morning trying to sell me the same stuff. So they weren't successful at it, and they left with this story hanging off the back of them.
Take them on a field trip? Take
I
them
should
out
have,
there?
shouldn't I?
So let's go visit.
Yeah, I'm not keen on chemical salesmen. They're kind of voodoo-ish, and it's all miracle stuff. So.
And it is against our ordinance to have a degreaser like that.
Well, not
Unless it's not quite that.
Yeah. You can't dissolve or use anything that will. It doesn't go away. It's enzymes are marketed the same way. Enzymes don't do anything. They'll do them. It'll always reform.
Well, plus the fact they head to the wastewater, into the wastewater system, and screw that up, so, yeah.
So I think Tim will start 2016 probably pretty soon as well, in April. So that, I think, worked out really well for us. So under property maintenance and derelict building, we were focusing on Ward 1, that's all couched under sort of that general improvement of Boonville. And these numbers are just for 2015, so I want to note that we had a little less than 40 total properties. We have 8 more that went out in property maintenance just in 2016, so we didn't include them in this report, and we have 5 that we're about to send out in dangerous buildings. So we'll have actually completed Ward 1, or we'll have open cases on every property in Ward 1 in this fiscal year. So Steve and I are going to get ready to do Ward 2 in April, and we'll do it all over again. So we have 16 cases currently, not including the 8 that we just sent out letters. We had 1 voluntary compliance. We have 4 that we sent to the prosecutor. Again, I have updates for any of those. And we have 11 on a work plan. So I think, just to be honest with you, that's going to be the next challenge, is deciding with the work plans how much progress is enough progress, and at what point in time we maybe need to involve the prosecutor if we feel like they're not making enough. So we'll see how that goes. Under derelict buildings, we had 10 of those. We have 3 voluntary compliance, and I think all of those are demolished. We had 2 voluntary compliance under a rehab, which was the Weaver property and the Chapelas property. We have 1 pending, which is down on Water Street. 1 was